What's up, folks? Back with another reaction, back with some more J-drama soundtrack. It's interesting though, we're gonna listen to a tune by a fantastic show. When it comes to like heartwarming, sort of emotional slash romantic content, this is one of the best, but it's another show that blends a number of different styles. It is fundamentally a detective show, but it's also a major comedy. It's sort of built around kind of like a manga style of comedy, even though most of the story is pretty straight, and it relates to a character, Okitegami Kyoko, played by Aragaki Yui, an actress I talked about before. She was in My Boss, My Hero. She's in like a million things. But yeah, she plays the actress with the wig in this show. But she plays a really good detective, but who has a cognitive condition, kind of like the movie Memento. She can't form new memories after like a traumatic experience, and she doesn't even really fully remember what the traumatic experience is. And so her memories essentially reset. It's kind of like if you mix 50 First Dates and Memento. Like her memory resets when she goes to sleep, and so she has to solve all the cases that she works on within one day. And there's a character played by Okada Masaki, who I mentioned before. He's in like a million things. Inconvenient, Ben Riyah. He's in Future Diary, another one that I did a reaction to, one of the songs from that, or the tracks from that, I should say. But yeah, he plays this guy who initially is, like, he's always accused of doing things he didn't do. He has really bad luck. His name is, like, Yakusuke, which I think, like, means, like, bad luck or something to that effect. And so he basically has to hire her in the first episode to prove that he didn't do anything. And then he really enjoys her company. She's smart, she's attractive, she's, a very interesting person, so he wants to, like, hire her again, but, like, the next day she wakes up, she doesn't remember him at all, and so he has to, like, keep meeting her and keep, like, hiring her for different reasons, but it's usually because he's been accused of something he didn't do. And it's, as the show goes on, like with a lot of J-dramas, it's kind of funny and silly from the very beginning. As the show goes on, it gets a little more serious, a little more like romantic and so on, so that by the end it's like genuinely emotional. It's just a brilliant show. Comedy, detective, and like romance drama all in one, all done very well. So the main theme song of the show, as heard in the end credits of every episode, is a song by Nishino Kana, and it's called Number One. We'll listen to the original eventually, and again, it's played during the actual episodes. It's right as the like episode is wrapping up and it starts rolling the credits. But in the home release of the DVD, again on the DVD version, which is a Malaysian company, they sell the international releases for these Japanese shows. They use in the menu of it's a 3-disc set, and for each disc, the main menu music is a cover of Number One by Nishino Kana, and the cover is by KOBASOLO, who's like a producer, keyboardist, sort of Japanese, like multi-instrumental artist, and Lefty Hand Cream, who's a female Japanese singer. She's like a YouTuber. She does a lot of videos where she's like behind this mic. It's like a big kind of like singing professional mic, and most of her face is obscured. Now I have seen she's posted stuff online where you do see her whole face, but there's a lot of posts where she does where like she's kind of covering half of her face, so it's clearly sort of like a style kind of like aesthetic choice the way she does it. But yeah, they do a cover of Number One by Nishino Kana again. And it totally changes the vibe. The original, it's like this kind of like, percussive, heavy, danceable sort of pop tune. It's got energy. It's uplifting and kind of happy, but it's like, again, it's very energetic and sort of percussive. This one totally changes the atmosphere, and it's like this mellow, instrumental sort of sounding, kind of floaty interpretation of the tune. So it takes it to a totally different sonic idiom. And Lefty Hand Cream, her voice is a little different. The Nishino Kana original, she's singing kind of very powerfully, and again, she has like a higher melodic voice, but it's sort of like a forceful delivery. And this one it fits the sonic atmosphere of the tune in that it's very kind of like light and soft and lilting. So yeah, without further ado, let's get to it. From the like home release, because this version of the tune isn't actually in any episodes of the show. It's in the main menu for the different discs of the home release of the show, and the original track is in the end of all the episodes. But yeah, it's kind of odd because this one doesn't actually get played in the show, but it's part of the soundtrack of the overall show. So again, the original is by Nishino Kana, and this is a cover by KOBASOLO and Lefty Hand Cream. English and Japanese. KOBASOLO with some, affected vocals. It's just a very pleasant tune. It's like a sunny afternoon with a significant other is what it feels like. I love you, like really. There's a lot going on in that part. Oh, the like mystical chimes with that transition. Again, I enjoyed a lot. Part of it is, as with all these J-drama reactions that I'm doing, part of it is I love these shows so much. Some of them more than others, fair to say. And indeed, maybe my favorite, I talked a lot about Crisis, like I absolutely love that show, but maybe my favorite J-drama ever, I just found online a copy of the soundtrack. And so basically, at some point soon, I'm going to be able to start reacting to that one. I'll save that for when I get there. But yeah, part of the reason I like these tunes so much is because they're related to awesome shows. This is a great example. Again, it's not even really in the show, but because it's in the main menu of all the discs in the DVD set, to me, it gives me this feeling of like, oh, I'm going to watch, one of my favorite shows. I'm going to watch an episode of Okitegami Kyoko's Memorandum. And again, the idea of the Memorandum, just to sort of, complete what I was talking about with the show, eventually she starts like making a record of what's happened. Like first, you know, she meets this new guy and she keeps having to re-meet him and so on, but he keeps proving himself in each day of her experience to be a cool and like reliable and, you know, decent person. So eventually she writes on her arm like, you can trust Yakusuke. And so she'll wake up and she'll see it, and so she begins to build up an understanding of who he is, even though her memory is wiped each day. And then she starts like writing things down in other parts of her body and whatever. So like she keeps notes for herself, but she eventually like writes out a whole story of everything that's happened, because you know, she's in danger and she might get, you know, basically, I don't want to spoil it, but there's what happened to her, why she lost her memory. It eventually comes back for her. And so, you know, she's in danger for a little bit and whatever, and she just, you know, in case something happens, she wants to write everything down. And then the idea is, as the show ends, that she'll be able to read that like every day as she gets up, and, you know, to understand who Yakusuke is and so on. But bottom line, yeah, it's a really cool show, and I enjoy the way this song to me captures like the vibe of the show perfectly, even though it's not actually in it. So yeah, I'll come back and react to the original by Nishino Kana. It is also very cool. It's more of, again, like a dancey, energetic sort of pop tune. But yeah, let me know what you think of this. Other than that, I will see you next time.